In this lesson, we're going to learn about the GOTO command. The GOTO command is also used with labels. I'm teaching you the GOTO command mainly so that you are aware of the command and that you have a sense of completeness for the language. It does have its purpose in SQL. You will see it used in some old school error handling at times. But to be honest, it's not really structured programming and can result in spaghetti code. I do not encourage using it. I will show you some examples, and that's kind of where I'm going to stop with it because I do not use GOTO whatsoever. So you will not see me programming in it, but if you want to use it, go ahead. But I will say it's very, very hard to maintain code with GOTOs. You're better off using if, then, and while loops. So let me show you how it works and some alternatives. I've set up an example using GOTO, and here is a loop structure that will loop through the print command, and as long as the variable I is less than 11, we will continue to go to the start label and iterate through this loop and print the count, increment I, test for I, and continue to go to start. So this is like a little loop structure here using GOTO. Let's see how this works. Let's run it, and I'll even debug it for you for a bit here. So when I run it, you can see it says current count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So let's do a debug on it just to check it out. I'm going to do a step into. So you can see how it just kind of, what's interesting when I say go to start here, it doesn't actually go to the start label. It's going to go to print. But it just kind of bounces through, right? So we're on I equals 7. So I can just bounce through this thing all the way. Actually, we'll just execute it. And there we go. Now we're at 10. All right. That's kind of painful to look at, isn't it? Let's look at another way to do that same loop. So this is a while loop. We learned about this. When I run this, it does the same thing. So basically what this says is that while I is less than or equal to 10, print the count, increment I, go through the loop. So I have a question for you. What is easier to read in your mind? Is it the while loop? Or is it the GOTO statement? I personally can read this while loop way faster. In fact, at the beginning of the lesson, I struggled even to try to interpret this while, this right here. I was having a hard time trying to figure out, is this thing going to stop on 11 or on 10? Where on the while loop, I knew immediately how it was going to stop. I'm just so used to reading while loops, and they're so easy to read with the conditions at the top. I knew exactly what was happening. Where with this thing with a condition at the bottom, it was very strange. Also, if you can imagine, if there was other labels and GOTOs in here, and things are just jumping and hopping around, holy smokes, it would be so hard to read and understand this code. So as you start adding more GOTOs and ifs and thens, it just gets so hard to understand where your code's going, and that's where the term spaghetti code comes from. So in my mind, if you can avoid using GOTOs, please do so. Do yourself and your fellow coworkers a favor and avoid them. In fact, if you start using this stuff in school, if you're in class, your professors will probably grade you down. So you got to know it probably to pass a test, but after that, stop using it. Alrighty, on to the next lesson.